Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Daily Mail article today, February 20th, 2023. You know who have put their strategic nuke forces on high alert to carry out large scale exercises in an attempt to use a nuclear Armageddon to weaken Western support. Okay, you can read the article verbatim, it's right there. You know those friends, those people that you've known, family, all your life. Remember when they texted you 2 years ago? I can't believe you're voting for Trump. You remember when they kept trying to disparage you and judge you because he was a monster and Trump was an authoritarian who was mean, and his tweets on Twitter were just a national security issue. We are now 90 seconds to midnight. You can look. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists right here. Quote, we are living in a time of unprecedented danger, and the doomsday clock reflects that reality. 90 seconds to midnight is the closest the clock has ever been set to midnight. And it's a decision our experts do not take lightly. Then they talk about dialogue, which is what Trump would have focused on from day one. And then they talk about a negotiated peace deal or settlement or ceasefire. This is blasphemy to Democrats. The adults are in charge, and we now are 90 seconds to midnight, the closest ever to the end of the planet. And today, February 20th, 2023, you know who put their strategic forces on highest alert. And they're carrying out large scale exercises, and we're intercepting their fighter jets over Alaska with greater frequency than ever. And Mashed Potato Brains is going to go visit that country. Okay, what's the definition of victory? Morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who must admit this never happened under Trump. This never ever happened under Trump. The media felt the Helsinki conference where Trump and the leader of the country that invaded in Europe met, that elicited greater outrage. A conference, okay, where two leaders are meeting, elicited greater indignation and outrage than what's taking place today. And if you look, it's not being talked about, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it's not. CNN isn't focusing on this. MSNBC, then The Atlantic publishes an article. Why does Fox News lie to its viewers? You have a public relations monstrosity that does not talk about the most pressing issues, does not tell the truth all the time, and it's leveled against Trump. Donald Trump has been redefined as a national security risk, while our former Cold War adversaries putting their nuclear forces on highest alert and carrying out large-scale exercises. The Daily Mail and some other publications talk about it today, but not many publications are really focusing on this. They're still talking about Trump and how mean he is and how horrible he is and how good and decent people vote for Biden and Democrats. But the Democrats are in charge. They've been in charge in the Oval Office. This is going on 3 years. This did not happen under Trump. It wouldn't have happened under Trump because his foreign policy was one where he negotiated and talked all the time. That's why he was the first president to step foot in North Korea. That's why he negotiated the Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords. These were huge, huge foreign policy accomplishments. Biden has zero foreign policy accomplishments. It's only been a catastrophe. And he has zero economic accomplishments. Simply allowing people to work and then looking at the unemployment rate, which was the exact unemployment rate under Trump before Democratic governors tanked their states. That's not an accomplishment. We are now 90 seconds to midnight, and if they use tactical nukes, it's a whole new ball game. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible. We'll cross the Rubicon into real unprecedented danger where you're looking at cities and you're looking at millions of people facing, I don't even want to describe, okay, what they could be facing. But hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. My super thanks is below, next to the like and the share buttons. Your super thanks is greatly appreciated. My Patreon is below, ladies and gentlemen. And go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Russia did not put its strategic nuclear forces on high alert, on the highest alert possible with Trump, or on highest alert. On highest alert. There you go. So we're at DEFCON 3 right now, according to military.com. They're apparently at their own, close to their own version of DEFCON 1 or 2. And it's not leverage, it's reality. You're looking at, I mean, this is why Tulsi Gabbard, this is why Donald Trump, this is why Rand Paul are so much better at foreign policy. There's so much, they possess so much more wisdom and intelligence than the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who have run this country into the ground in terms of foreign policy and economic policy. This is why it was a moral imperative to have voted for Trump. This is why all those people who texted you were wrong. They were wrong then and they were wrong now. And all those friends and family members and people that you've known for 30, 40 years who suddenly said, "Oh my God, CNN told me that Trump was going to devour the planet. How dare you?" These people knew nothing about Hunter's laptop and obvious felonies listed within the New York Post journalism and reporting. They knew nothing about Biden's foreign policy. All they cared about was that Trump was mean and none of their friends liked him. So then they didn't like Trump. He's an authoritarian. These are the same people who never perhaps opened up a history book. He was admired and is admired by so many people, Trump. He got a greater percentage of the non-white vote his second time around 2 years ago than in 2016. Religious people of my background love Trump, overwhelmingly vote, of my faith, overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump. Okay, there is no greater friend ever to Israel than Donald Trump. And so that's where I had my bar mitzvah. It's, my background. And so I know religious people who love Trump. Okay, lots of people admire Trump. But the people who admire, this is why Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, even though they voted 90+% of the time in Congress, along with Trump, this is where they separate. This is where they make friends or allies with the Democratic Party because they're okay with this. They are okay. They're not focusing on this. Kinzinger isn't focusing on this. He's focusing on January and a failed attempt to have indicted Trump. Trump didn't do the things he was accused of doing. He never did the things he was accused of doing in Georgia, New York, D.C. He just was never, they never indicted him. But they focused all their energy on Trump. They've redefined national security as stopping Trump. Meanwhile, Biden is his foreign policy has led to this 90 seconds to midnight because of a complete disregard for negotiating any type of ceasefire or peace deal or end hostilities. He just wants to send tens of billions of dollars and he wants to mobilize all of Europe and the alliance there. And so you have the entire public relations monstrosity in the US and in media and other countries as well. And they're ignoring the reality of the situation. This is why you vote for Trump. This is why you should have always ignored all those people who pretended to care about humanity and opposed Donald Trump and went after you for having the audacity to vote for the Orange Menace. Because with Trump, we wouldn't have had this, and we didn't have this, and his foreign policy would have prevented this. And we've seen his accomplishments, and we've seen Biden bring us towards the brink of 90 seconds to midnight. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll be here in a couple of hours for another video. Thank you.